Last night you watched something, a full story with people in it, places you have never been, a version of you that did things the daytime you never would. You were the audience and the star and the director all at once. And then you opened your eyes and within about 90 seconds, most of it was gone. By the time you finished brushing your teeth, the whole production had been deleted and you were the only person who ever saw it. You will dream more than 100,000 times in your life. You will remember almost none of them. For all of human history, that was simply the deal. A dream was the one experience that died with the moment it happened, unrecordable, unprovable, gone. But in the last few years, in a handful of labs, that stopped being completely true. Scientists have started pulling images back out of the sleeping brain, and the closer they get to a real recording, the louder a much stranger question gets. Not, can we record a dream? But why your own brain seems to be deleting the evidence on purpose every single night. First, understand how much is being erased. You do not dream in rare flashes. A healthy night runs through 4 or 5 separate dream periods, and they get longer toward morning. So by the time your alarm goes off, you may have been dreaming vividly for close to 2 hours. Stretch that across a lifetime, and you spend somewhere around 6 years of your existence inside dreams. 6 years of experience, almost none of it saved. And if you are one of the people who swears you never dream at all, the science is blunt with you. You almost certainly do. Wake a self-described non-dreamer in a sleep lab during REM, and the large majority will describe a dream they were having seconds earlier. They were not skipping the show. They were just never catching it before it was wiped. Even people blind from birth dream in sound, in touch, in motion. Dreaming is not a luxury feature your brain runs when it has spare time. It is doing this every night to everyone, whether or not a single frame survives, which makes the deletions stranger, not simpler. Your brain spends years of its one life generating something elaborate and emotional and specific, and then almost every morning throws it away before you can keep it. So the real question is not why you forget, it is what your brain thinks it is doing. Running a private cinema for an audience, it refuses to let remember the film. Start with the deletion, because it is the part that happens to you tonight. When you fall asleep, your brain does not power down. It moves through stages, and roughly every 90 minutes, it enters the one where most vivid dreaming happens. REM sleep, named for the rapid eye movements first measured in a Chicago lab back in 1953. In REM, your visual centers light up almost like you are awake. Your emotional centers run hot. The dream feels completely real, because to most of your brain, it is. But one system is kept offline. The hippocampus, the part of your brain that turns an experience into a memory you can keep, is barely participating, and the reason is chemical. To file a memory for the long term, your brain needs a messenger called norepinephrine. During REM sleep, norepinephrine falls to almost nothing. The recording booth is lit, the cameras are rolling, but the tape machine has been quietly unplugged, and it may be worse than neglect. In 2019, researchers found a population of neurons in the hypothalamus that switch on during REM sleep and actively reach into the hippocampus to suppress it. In mice, firing these cells made dreams less likely to be remembered. The dreaming brain is not failing to save the file, it is running a delete command. You forget your dreams because, on some level, you were built to. So here is the obvious question. If the brain will not keep the recording, could a machine make one instead? To even attempt that, scientists first had to prove something that sounds impossible, that you can look at raw brain activity and work backwards to the picture that caused it. In 2011, a lab at Berkeley did exactly that. While people were awake, volunteers lay inside a brain scanner and watched hours of movie trailers. The scanner recorded how their visual cortex responded second by second. The researchers trained a model that learned the link between what the eyes saw and what the brain did. Then they fed it thousands of random video clips the subjects had never seen and asked it to guess. The reconstructions were blurry, watery, dreamlike, but they were unmistakably the same footage. They had reached into a brain and pulled out a rough cut of what it was looking at. That was perception. Eyes open, a real image going in. The leap that mattered for dreams was bigger. Could you do it when there was nothing in front of the eyes at all? In 2013, a team in Kyoto tried. They had volunteers fall asleep inside a scanner and then woke them up over and over. The moment a sleeper drifted into the first images of a dream, the researchers woke them and asked what they had just seen. A man, a street, a book. They built a private dictionary of each person's dream reports matched to their exact brain activity in the seconds before waking. Then they did the clever part. They had those same people awake look at real pictures and trained a decoder on the waking brain. Then they pointed it at the sleeping one. It worked. Reading only the brain activity from sleep, the decoder could predict the kind of thing the person had been dreaming about around 60% of the time. Well above a coin flip. For the first time, a machine had looked at a sleeping human and guessed the contents of a dream nobody had described to it yet. And this is where it turns. In 2025, a design studio released something you can build at home for under €300, a small bedside device called a dream recorder. You wake up, press a button, and mumble whatever you can still grab of the dream. It feeds your words to an AI, and a minute later, it plays you back a short, grainy film of the dream you just described. But look closely at what it actually is. It is not reading your brain. It is reading your memory of the dream, the handful of fragments that survive the delete command, and it renders them deliberately in ultra-low definition, because that is honestly how the memory hands them back. The device is not recording the dream. It is recording the ghost of one, and that is the part no machine has solved, maybe ever. The instant you wake up, the thing itself is already gone, erased by your own brain before you can turn and look at it. Every recording we know how to make is a recording of the aftermath. You are the sole witness to a third of your own life, and you are built to forget it in real time while it is still happening. Your body runs a hidden process like this every single night, and we take one apart in every video. If you have ever woken up chasing a dream that was already gone, subscribe and we will keep going. Because here is the strange exception. There is a small number of people who can step inside the dream while it is happening, know that they are dreaming, and steer it. We can watch it happen on a brain scan. They are awake and asleep at the same time, and what their brains are doing in that moment might be the closest any human gets to pressing record from the inside. That is where we go next.